Let's say China.
China.
There are next-door neighbors, and you can actually see Russia from land here in Alaska.
You go over to China.
I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Trump's face, tweeting out insults to Angela Merkel. What's he doing?
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your host.
Hello. It is me, James Andrews, and you are listening to So This Happened. Very possibly the only news program you will need today. It is Wednesday, the 17th of May, 2017, and I think I speak for everybody in the country when I say, what the fuck? And of course I am referring to President Trump and the White House in general. Never before have I known a time when something bad happens on Monday and then something worse happens on Tuesday. Now, of course, on Monday, the president was in a little bit of hot water when it came out that he had shared some classified information with the Russians at a meeting he had in the Oval Office. Well, yesterday, just as we were finishing up recording, the news was breaking that James Comey, the fired director of the FBI, had a note, and in that note he had written down what Donald Trump had said to him in a private one-on-one meeting, and that was that Donald Trump asked the director of the FBI to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn. Of course, the media grabbed onto this and just would not let go of it, and it was reported that from the White House, Donald Trump was very, very angry, swearing up a storm at his staff, and through means which I cannot divulge, I have a recording of what was said in the Oval Office yesterday. Now, the recording is a little bad, but you'll get the general gist of it. So here is Donald Trump going ballistic after all this happened.
Our country's going to hell. Going to hell. What the hell are we doing? Knock the hell out of them. My tax proposal cuts the hell out of taxes. I don't give a damn. He gets the nomination, they're going to sue his ass off. We'll beat the shit out of them. Let them beat the shit out of ISIS also. They're ripping the shit out of the sea. We're going to knock the shit out of ISIS. Going to knock the shit out of it. You're not going to raise that fucking price, but it's political bullshit. She said he's a pussy. We'll beat the shit out of them. We can't get a fucking school built in Brooklyn. I'm going to bomb the shit out of them. Listen, you motherfuckers, we're going to tax you 25%. Whoever the hell bought this mic system, don't pay the son of a bitch to put it in. I'll tell you, you shouldn't pay the bastard. Let them beat the shit out of ISIS also. That shit is not going to happen anymore. Good chicken shit. Grab him by the pussy.
Excuse me?
Just see your camera for a second.
No.
Why is that?
Because it's mine.
Yeah?
You need a warrant?
You need a warrant?
Yes.
May I please see your camera? I'd like to see what you videotaped.
No.
I don't.
Yes.
Ooh. Well, that was the end of it. Obviously, it got broken up there. But there it was. That was Donald Trump really angry in the Oval Office. Sounded like there was some plate smashing there, but it was quite difficult to hear what was going on exactly there because the recording wasn't brilliant. But there it was. I told you we had it, and we had it. Now, the reaction in the House was, oh, guess what? Yes, mixed. Democrats and Republicans fairly divided on this as well. Now, I will say that some Republicans were starting to come around and say, well, you know what, we do need to see what's going on here, because if Donald Trump really did ask the director of the FBI to drop an investigation into somebody, then that is problematic. Even Paul Ryan, the spineless jellyfish man, said, yeah, we probably should look into this. There's massive calls now for a independent investigation into Trump-Russia ties, and Democrats on the floor are calling for his impeachment. Yes, for his impeachment. And I want to be the sad voice now, because I've been looking at Twitter all day, and all over the feed, people have been saying, impeach Donald Trump, impeach Donald Trump. And I'm going to have to be the one to break this to you. And I'm sorry, but, well, it's not going to happen. The reason the Democrats are giving for an impeachment hearing is the fact that they're saying Donald Trump obstructed justice. And let's look at what an obstruction of justice is, shall we? Because if we look back at the last two impeachment hearings was Bill Clinton, and he was got on, yes, obstruction of justice, and also Tricky Dicky, Richard Nixon. He was also got on obstruction of justice. So there is a precedent there for it. The problem, however, is proving obstruction of justice. And it can get quite tricky, because when we look at Donald Trump's case here, let's say, just for the sake of argument, that a note from Comey does exist that says Donald Trump asked him to drop the investigation into Michael Flynn. That is not necessarily obstruction of justice. And where it gets tricky is this. If there was intent, and if intent can be proven on the part of the president to change an investigation, then yeah, it's obstruction of justice. But if they say that's not really what he was trying to do, what he was trying to do was say, look, Michael Flynn, he's a good guy, he's one of the lads, cut him a break, will you? If there was no intent to actually stop an investigation, then it's no longer an obstruction of justice, and therefore no longer impeachable. And before everyone starts saying, well, of course he did, bear in mind and remember, Hillary Clinton had the exact same charge leveled at her, obstruction of justice. And the only reason it wasn't given to her was that Comey said he did not see any malicious intent on her behalf. Therefore, there was no charge of obstruction of justice. So obviously something really bad has happened, and have people lost confidence in Donald Trump? If you watch CNN, NBC, then the answer is absolutely, definitely yes. But if you change that channel to Fox, and particularly if you go to the radio and you listen to some of these conservative talk show hosts and the people that are ringing into their show, people still have massive confidence in Donald Trump. His base still support him. He said, I'll shoot someone in New York and I won't lose a single supporter. And he is absolutely right. He will not lose a single supporter. They are blaming the media, and even Donald Trump today was blaming the media, saying that no president in history has been treated as badly as he has by the media. That's what his supporters are hearing. That's what they're parroting back to him. And that's how this is going to go. So it really is going to come down to the Republican congressmen and senators to say, okay, we need an independent investigation. We need to see those notes from James Comey. We need to find out if there is any merit in this. And if there is, we will move on that. And unfortunately, we have to just trust them that they will do that. And that's a really hard thing to do, isn't it? Yeah, really hard thing to do. Now, another really interesting thing that happened today was somebody, unexpected, came to the aid of Donald Trump. And that was Vladimir Putin. Trump's in hot water right now, as you know, for these secrets, classified information that he shared with the Russians. Well, Vladimir Putin says, look, I have a transcript of that conversation. I can release it to the Congress and the Senate if it would make things better, because I can then prove there was no classified information shared. And I don't want to brag, but I feel like I have to brag. Because of the influence that this show has, I have been able to obtain a copy of those transcripts from Russia. Now, they came in an MP3 file to my email address, and I'm just going to play you the transcripts. And I think it does actually lay to bed. Donald Trump shared no classified information with the Russians. So here's the recording.
Lavrov. Hello, Mr. President. Trump. Hello, Mr. Lavrov. Welcome to the Oval Office. The greatest Oval Office ever. Lavrov. It's very nice. I like the big painting of you on the wall. Very powerful. Trump. That one cost $4 million. We spared no expense. Lavrov. Do you have anything to tell us? Trump. No. Lavrov. Are you sure? There is really nothing. Trump. No. But say hi to my friend and benevolent leader Putin. Lavrov. I will. Trump. Thanks for coming.
Well, there you go. So I think that completely clears that up. So Vladimir Putin, thank you for sending that. That really does let Donald off the hook. Well done. And unfortunately, Trump Vader is not going to be with us again for a second day in a row. And this is tragic, but you cannot blame the man. He has been having a rough couple of days, and he's at home right now having a Manhattan. He likes Manhattans. I don't know why. That's his favorite drink. So what we're going to do is listen to some other politicians, some Republican politicians, and see what their feel is on this whole Trump scandal that seems to be brewing pretty quickly. So first up is Jellyfish Boy, or as his mum calls him, Paul Ryan. And that is actually true. His mum does call him Paul Ryan. Not Paul Ryan. You know, it's like, Paul Ryan, you come down here right now, your dinner's ready. I mean, she doesn't sound like that. She's not from London, but she does always call him Paul Ryan. Anyway, here's what Jellyfish Boy had to say.
We need the facts. It is obvious there are some people out there who want to harm the president, but we have an obligation to carry out our oversight regardless of which party is in the White House. And that means before rushing to judgment, we get all the pertinent information. The House Oversight and Government Reform Committee has appropriately requested this memo. And I'm sure we're going to want to hear from Mr. Comey about why, if this happens as he allegedly describes, why he didn't take action at the time. So there are a lot of unanswered questions. What I told our members is, now is the time to gather all the pertinent information. Our job is to be responsible, sober, and focus only on gathering the facts. That is what Congress does in conducting oversight of the executive branch.
Now, there's Paul Ryan. Now, while he's not necessarily going against President Trump, this is the first time we've seen him sort of take a step back and say, okay, we need to look at the facts here and see what's going on. Now, he wasn't the only person to sort of criticize the White House today. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell had this to say.
I think it would be helpful to have less drama emanating from the White House.
Oh, you and me both, Mitch. And then next up is Senator John McCain, and he had... John McCain, fucking diehard. No, John McCain. He ran for president, James. You know who he was. You know who I meant, right? But John McCain, diehard. Couldn't help it. One of my favourite films. Anyway, here's what John McCain had to say.
Apparently it was the Israeli intelligence that's now been, quote, unmasked, and that obviously would give them pause as to what additional information that they might provide us with. So
the Republicans are being diplomatic, certainly. They're not jumping quite as far as the Democrats and saying, impeach Trump. But they are definitely starting to turn around a little bit and say, okay, this shit has gone too far. We need to sit down and look at the facts and find out what is really going on. But I just want to play you, before we go, my favourite thing that I've heard today. This was on YouTube, and it's by a person called WTF Bra. It's a track that he, she, or they, I don't know who they are, made, talking about Donald Trump and the fake news. And I'm going to go out to this. So thanks so much for listening, and you can always follow me on Twitter at SoThisHappen. And don't forget to like and subscribe on iTunes and Google Play. So, WTF Bra, whoever, wherever you are, I take my hat off to you.
I'm making this presentation directly to the American people, with the media present, which is an honor to have you this morning, because many of our nation's reporters and folks will not tell you the truth. Russia is a ruse. It's all fake news. It's all a ruse. Not true. It's all fake news. Russia is a ruse. Fake. It's all fake news. The news is fake because so much of the news is fake. One of the reasons I'm here today is to tell you the whole Russian thing, that's a ruse. Russia is fake news. Russia, this is fake news. Well, I own nothing in Russia. I have no loans in Russia. Talk all you want about Russia. I don't have any deals in Russia. Tomorrow the headlines are going to be Donald Trump rants and raves. The press is out of control. Dishonesty is out of control. We're not going to let it happen because I'm here again to take my message straight to the people. Russia is a ruse. It's all fake news. It's all a ruse. Not true. It's all fake news. Russia is a ruse. Fake. It's all fake